Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Isabel Palacios and yes, long time no see. If you guys can't tell, I got a new camera while I was gone and that's why it's taken me a little bit of time to create new content. Been getting used to this camera. It's the Fujifilm X-T4 and I've had my old camera for about 4 or 5 years now and I thought it was about time for an upgrade. So if the audio quality is off or the video is off, please bear with me because I'm still getting used to this camera. Now, I have been wanting to come back to YouTube to talk about things that are going on currently and issues that affect us all as human beings in many different ways with the pandemic, the mental health pandemic that's going on now. I wanted to make a video on toxic positivity, and as I was preparing for that video, stuff started going down with the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota, here in the United States. For those of you who are not familiar, I know I have viewers from all over the world. An unarmed black man was murdered in cold blood. There is a video of it. He was not resisting and he did not deserve what this earth has done to him. And may he rest in peace. And my thoughts and prayers are for the family and for the black community at this time. As I am making this video, it has been announced that the officer that murdered George Floyd has been arrested and charged with murder. And this is after a big protest and riots and all this going down in the city of Minneapolis. So that means that these voices have been heard and we are not powerless. Those of us who are in the spiritual community, who are spiritual, we tend to sugarcoat or gloss over these things. And that's what I call toxic positivity, is that we're not addressing the current situation and we're not addressing what's currently going on in our world because it's not positive. And let me tell you guys something. As spiritual beings, as human beings, we have to promote oneness. We have to promote support for each other. Doesn't matter if they're in another country or different skin tone to you, or it doesn't matter. We have to stand together as one. And this idea that what's happening in the black community is not going to affect you because you're not within the black community or you haven't gone through these things is very wrong. Because if you live on this planet and you are a human being, you are part of this whole. There is no separation between me and you and your neighbor or your friends or anyone, your enemies. There is no separation between us. We are all connected. And what happens to one of us is felt by all of us. No matter how much we want to ignore it or turn away or sugarcoat it. Now, I spent all last night, I barely slept last night actually, researching and reading, watching videos of what was going on, informing myself as much as I can about this topic, because even though I am not black, I am a Latina woman living in the United States and I am aware of racism. I have felt racism, I have felt prejudice. My friends, my family, I have seen it all over the world actually, and racism is what we need to all come together against. As the late, brilliant, Nobel Prize winning author Toni Morrison said, there's only one human race. But racism has been created, it was created centuries ago to make some people feel like they are better or more superior or more worthy than other people simply because of their skin tone, because of where they come from. And as spiritual beings, you know that you are not your skin tone, that these things, these outside things, do not define our worth. And we have to realize that there are systems in place, there are people in power that profit, that benefit from you feeling this division and separation from each other. There are people who want to see us average people fighting and at odds with each other because it helps them and their agendas. So it's not about political alliances. If you guys listen to my podcast, Taking Back Your Power, you guys know I don't believe or swear an allegiance to any kind of political party because I studied political science in college. I've seen what politics is, and I see it as a tool to divide us, this matrix dividing us further. It's natural to be angry. It's natural to be upset. I'm not coming on here to tell you not to be upset or angry. There are healthy ways to release our emotions, and suppressing our emotions is not one of them. I believe the solution to all of these things happening right now and that have happened throughout our history of our societies, whether you have dealt with war or genocide or famine, or you are an immigrant who escaped to the United States or whatever country to flee an oppressive government or regime, we are all fighting a common denominator. And that's why we have to band together. For centuries, people have been kept down, used, abused, especially people of the Black community. Horrible things have been done to them. And that's why we have to start from within and work our way out. Through love and compassion, we have to go within and face ourselves in our darkness and our shadows in order to dissipate it. We have to shed light on those dark ideals and those dark parts of our society and our humanity. Because if we don't, what is done in darkness and silence is what has power. But when you shed light on it, you take away its power and you take the power back. Although we may not be of the same ethnic or racial background or race or identity, we can still walk alongside those who have faced injustice, and we can still have empathy for others. Empathy. I may not have walked in your shoes, but I can listen to you and look back at myself and say, how can I be better? How can I make this right here within myself? And the truth of the matter is, many of us have been conditioned to have these prejudices, these racial prejudices, these biases since very little. But we were not born that way. We were not born to hate. A baby does not know how to hate. But a child, an older child, can be conditioned and told that person is evil, this person is bad because of this and this and this. And that's what we as adults, when we go through healing journeys, when we work on our limiting beliefs, we have to face those dark aspects of ourselves. We have to face our traumas, especially if you are in a place of privilege, especially if you're in a place where you have more voice in a society. We have to speak up and say, yes, not everyone has had the opportunities that I've had. But it's not about shame. It's about going within with love, facing yourself and asking yourself, how can I be better? How can I do better? What parts of myself or shadow aspects of myself can I bring light to, bring out, and thus dissipate through change of behaviors, change of habits? Not just talking about it on social media, but being about it. Not just liking tweets or leaving comments. There's people living double lives on Instagram or on Twitter. They're one thing, and then in their real lives, they're not calling this behavior out. They're not telling their friends or their family, hey, don't use that word, or don't talk like that about people, or don't do these things. We have to keep each other accountable through love. We don't want to create more division and separation. We have to be real with ourselves, with our insecurities. A lot of people who have racial prejudices or are racist are people who are very hurt and insecure within themselves, and thus they have to use their race as a reason why they're better than everyone else. And that is an illusion. That's an illusion. We have to do what we can within our communities too. Support Black businesses. Support people where you can help them in their pockets. Support minorities, small businesses. Support the small people, the people who are being trampled over by corporations, by politicians, by the system that has been built to only keep a few people on top. Some people call it the cabal, and it's real. It's very real. I made a podcast episode on this, on taking back your power, about the Great Awakening, and we are going through an awakening right now. This is all happening for us, but the fact that everything is being destroyed, things are being burnt down, these things are being brought to light, hate is being focused on right now. Yes, we're going to start seeing more of it, and more of it's going to come to light, and it's going to feel like our world is in chaos, but always remember, the universe is in perfect order. As much hate and negativity there is in the world, there is an equal amount of love and positivity and good things. We can't have one without the other. We can't run from our shadows. We can't run from our past. We can't run from our fears. We have to face them. We have to become aware, do research. Don't blindly follow political parties. Don't blindly follow these leaders who say they have your interests. And when you look back at their voting record and their laws that they have enacted, it shows you a very different story. We have to come together as human beings. We have to come together and teach our children better. And I would say we should pray and we should meditate. Prayer is when we converse and we talk with God, with the Creator. Meditation is when we listen, when we surrender. So please start getting into the habit, especially now during this time if you haven't. Keep up with your spiritual practices. Keep up with the love, with the cooperation. Because yes, there are so many centrifugal forces in the world that are pulling us apart constantly. Because this is the thing, if we all get together, we outnumber those people by millions and billions. We outnumber them, and that's why they have to keep us down. They have to keep us down so that we don't remember our power, so that we don't remember that together we are stronger. You listening right now, you're very strong, you're very capable. Even if you are just one person and you feel alone, you are not. Take care of yourselves, your spirit, your mind, your body. Because this is another thing, as I was saying before, a lot of people's mental health has been affected because of quarantine, because of what's been going on. The media is just feeding, social media too, feeds dark energies, really changing our subconscious minds. But we can take the power back. Yes, we should do research. We should be aware. We shouldn't turn away from it. But always go back to that center, to your heart. Asking yourself what is right. Showing support to one another. Signing petitions. Doing all these different things. Becoming informed, but also making sure that you yourself are doing well. This is the thing. The law of attraction teaches us that thoughts become things. We attract what we are. That's why it's okay to feel your emotions. It's okay to express them outwardly. It's okay to feel fear and all these different things, but we cannot make it our identity. Our emotions and our thoughts and our words and our feelings are not us. The way that we begin to create what we want to see in this physical plane is by expressing the negative emotions, but controlling our reaction to those negative emotions. When you feel fear and hurt, our knee-jerk reaction is to explode or do whatever it is. But that's our power, our reaction to things, our reason, our conscious minds, our incredible brains that have incredible capacity, in our hearts that have an incredible capacity. Read up on brain and heart coherence. It is so very powerful how when the brain and the heart work together, we can create so much. But we cannot play into the game. We cannot play into that game of division. We cannot play into that game of hatred. We cannot play into that game of racism, that we are separate, that we are foreign and alien to each other, because it's not true. Call it God, the universe. We are all equal and unique expressions of that consciousness. Don't ever forget that, my loves. Don't ever forget that. We must be the love and the light. And even though this journey ahead of us is not going to be easy, and it's spiritual awakening is never something that's just easy and sunshine and rainbows. Even though it will be hard, that is why you need to take care of yourself, spirit, mind, and body, so that you can be strong to withstand this current upheaval that we're feeling in our journeys collectively. Please know that you're not alone. I am with you in heart and spirit, and God is with you. You are always supported and loved. Let's stand up and support each other. Anytime we see injustice, it is our responsibility to speak up, to do something. and we can do things in different ways. I'm going to leave links down below to great organizations that one of my friends she works with. She's very involved in her own communities in New Orleans, and I want to link all that below, especially if you're here in the United States. Find ways to get involved, to donate, to be the change, but know that change always starts from within. Face yourself, face your darkness, face your prejudices or your biases. Face all these things and you will see the amount of growth you will have and the amount of peace you will have by bringing to light what is uncomfortable. The members of the Black community, please know I am with you and I stand with you. Millions are with you. Even if it doesn't seem like it, please know you are not alone. You are supported. Don't let them make you forget who you are. You are more powerful than any of these forces trying to break you down. That is why you are attacked. When you are very powerful, they fear you, and that's why they try to bring you down and keep you down. That's always been the case throughout history. Lead the way with light and love. Even if you don't feel like it right now, I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm going to continue being the light in this darkness, and I hope you will join me too. Support each other, support Black-owned businesses, support your favorite Black influencers, support each other, and that way we can start to see the change that we need in this world. We can take the power back from the darkness, from the evil forces that have ruled our collective consciousness for so long. So there's a lot I can address with this topic. This is just skimming the surface. I do plan on making more content along these lines, especially when it comes to toxic positivity and denying struggle. Our struggle makes us stronger, and that's something, doesn't matter what your struggle is, if it's mental health, if it's financial, if it's what's going on right now in the world, if it's racial, whatever your struggle is right now, don't run from it. Don't fall down from it. Don't let it bring you down. It is teaching us so much, and there's so much for us to learn from this time in history, and history is watching us. Our future generations, our children, our grandchildren, they're watching us to see how we're going to react and how we're going to move forward from here. Let's take the power back. I love you guys. I love you so much. I am with you. If you want to leave any resources down below, any ways that you believe people can help, if you want to share your experiences, make people feel less alone and isolated, please comment them down below. Let's be there for each other. I love you. And always remember this, my beautiful angels. It may feel heavy. It's felt heavy for a long time. You may be tired, angry, stressed. It's okay. It's okay. Remember, everything is temporary. And always remember, your true beauty, your true worth, and your true power always come from within. I love you all. Rest in peace, George Floyd. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.
Man, just saw my homegirl Nikki from South Lawn lost her son, man. Our young generation is clearly lost, man. Clearly lost, man. Like, I don't even know what to say no more, man. Like, you youngsters just going around, just busting guns in crowds, kids getting killed, you know, and it's clearly the generation after us, man, that's so lost, man. Half them young shooting them guns, go home and they knees shaking at night. But they don't show it to nobody because, you know, they ain't tough then. Hey, man, come on home, man. One day it's going to be you and God. You going up or you going down. You know what I'm saying?